Mom's recipe box is in the attic, my mother said sweetly, stirring her tea like we were discussing the weather. You should have it now that you're married. I'd been asking about that recipe box for years. Every Thanksgiving when her cornbread stuffing made everyone groan with happiness. Every Christmas when her sugar cookies somehow tasted like childhood itself. Every time I called her crying about another failed attempt at her famous pot roast. Family recipes stay in the family, she'd always say. You'll get them when it's time. Apparently, it was time. My husband Oliver and I drove over that Saturday afternoon. Mom greeted us with her usual air kisses and Dad's customary grunt from his recliner. Nothing seemed different. Nothing seemed wrong. It's in the back corner, Mom said, gesturing vaguely upward. Behind your father's old golf clubs. Dusty up there, so be careful. The attic ladder creaked as I climbed. Oliver followed, though I'd told him he didn't need to. I want to see where you hid during thunderstorms, he'd said with that smile that still made my stomach flip after 3 years. The attic was exactly as I remembered. Boxes labeled in Mom's perfect handwriting. Christmas decorations, Sarah's school projects. Tax records 1985 to 1990. Everything in its place, a whole life organized and stored. The recipe box sat where she said it would be. Cedar wood, about the size of a shoebox, with brass corners gone green with age. My grandmother's initials, Yem, carved into the lid. This is it, I breathed, lifting it carefully. It was heavier than expected. We climbed back down, and I set it on the kitchen table. Mom had conveniently disappeared into the garden. Dad's snores drifted from the living room. I opened the lid, expecting index cards stained with vanilla extract and flour. Instead, I found photographs. Weird place to store photos, I muttered, picking up the first stack. Oliver leaned in, then suddenly grabbed the box from my hands. This isn't recipes. Obviously. Mom must have mixed up the box's dash. No, Sarah. Look at the dates. His voice had changed. Gone flat and careful, the way it did when he was reading medical charts with bad news. I'd only heard it twice before, when his father had a heart attack and when my biopsy results came back suspicious, though thankfully benign. I looked at the photo in my hand. It showed a young girl, maybe 4 years old, standing in front of a house I didn't recognize. The date stamp read, July 1994. That's me, I said slowly. But that's not our house. We didn't move here until 1996. Oliver was rifling through more photos. His face had gone pale. Sarah, these are all of you. Different houses. Different clothes. But look at the dates. I spread them out. Dozens of pictures. Me at various ages, but the dates were wrong. All wrong. May 1993. Me at age 3 in a park I didn't know. October 1994. Me with a woman who wasn't my mother. December 1995. Me opening Christmas presents in a strange living room. These must be mislabeled, I said, but my voice shook. Old cameras, you know how they dash. Sarah. Oliver held up a document. This isn't a photo. It was a birth certificate. My name, but not my birthday. Not my birthplace. And the parents' names. Margaret and James Chin. Not Patricia and Robert Morrison. Not my parents. The room tilted. Oliver caught my arm, guided me to a chair. There's more, he said quietly. News clippings. Yellowed and carefully preserved. Missing child. Local girl vanishes from birthday party. Family pleads for daughter's return. Search continues for Sarah Chun, age 4. My face. Younger, but unmistakably mine. Standing between two people I'd never seen before. Wearing a dress I didn't remember. Smiling at a camera I didn't recall. This can't be real, I whispered. Oliver was still digging. More documents emerged. Adoption papers. No, not adoption. Nothing legal. Just forged documents. A trail of false identities. Sarah Chin becoming Sarah Morrison overnight. Then he found the notebook. My mother's handwriting, but not her recipe notes. Pages and pages of observations. She asked about the scar on her knee again. Told her it was from learning to ride a bike. She's having the dreams again. Increased the Benadryl dose. Memory suppression seems successful. No recognition of the news coverage. She called me Mama today instead of Mommy. Progress. I was going to be sick. Oliver pulled out his phone. What are you doing? Calling the police. Wait. I grabbed his hand. I need to understand. But I already did. The gaps in my childhood memories that I'd attributed to just being young. The way my parents never had stories about my baby years. No family on either side. Small families, they'd always said. The way certain songs made me unbearably sad without knowing why. The scar on my knee that didn't match any story they'd told. The dreams, I said suddenly. I used to have dreams about a yellow kitchen with sunflower curtains. Mom said it was from a TV show. Oliver showed me another photo. A kitchen. Yellow walls. Sunflower curtains. Me at the table, chocolate cake in front of me, for candles glowing. My birthday party, I whispered. My real birthday party. The front door opened. Mom's voice bright and false. How's the recipe hunting going? Oliver and I looked at each other. 26 years. 26 years of lies. Of a family somewhere thinking I was dead. Of birthdays celebrated on the wrong day. Of an entire identity built on kidnapping. Call them, I said. He dialed 911. But I had another number to find first. Directory assistants connected me to the Chens in Michigan. The same town from the newspaper clippings. A woman answered. Older, tired. Is this Margaret Chen? I asked. Yes. Did you lose a daughter named Sarah in 1994? Silence. Then a broken sound. Who is this? I think I'm her. The phone clattered. Voices in the background. Then a man's voice urgent. Sarah? Is this really? We never stopped looking. Never stopped hoping. I couldn't speak. Oliver took the phone, explained what we'd found while I stared at the photos scattered across my childhood kitchen table. My real parents. My real life. My real name. Mom walked in just as Oliver was giving our address to the 911 operator. She saw the photos, the documents, my face. For 1 second, her mask slipped. I saw calculation, then resignation. I suppose it was time, she said, sitting down across from me like we were about to have tea. Time. I could barely get the word out. You were so unhappy there, she said calmly. Crying all the time. That woman couldn't handle you. At the park, you came right to me. Held my hand like you'd known me forever. You kidnapped me. I saved you. Her voice hardened. We gave you a good life. Dance lessons, college, everything you needed. You stole me from my parents. They weren't your parents anymore. We were. The sirens were getting closer. Dad appeared in the doorway, saw the scene, and I watched him understand in real time. His face crumbled. Patty, you said she was from the agency. You said it was legal. Mom's laugh was bitter. Would you have agreed otherwise? You wanted a daughter as much as I did. Not like this. He was crying now. Not someone else's child. She was meant to be ours, Mom insisted. Don't you see? 26 years, Robert. 26 years of being her parents. That makes her ours. The police arrived. Then the FBI, because kidnapping across state lines made it federal. The house became a crime scene. Mom was arrested, still insisting she'd done nothing wrong. Dad, broken and sobbing, went too. Ignorance wasn't innocence in the eyes of the law. Oliver drove me to Michigan that night. The FBI said the Chens, my parents, my real parents, were waiting. That they'd never changed their phone number, never moved houses, never stopped hoping. The yellow kitchen was exactly like my dreams. Older, more worn, but the sunflower curtains were still there. And the people. I didn't recognize them, but they recognized me. Your eyes, Margaret Chen whispered. Still exactly the same. They didn't rush me. Didn't grab and cling. Just stood there, tears streaming, hands reaching but not quite touching, letting me choose. I don't remember you, I said, hating how it sounded. I'm sorry, but I don't. That's okay, James Chen said. We remember enough for all of us. They showed me my room. Pink walls with unicorn decals. A bed still made, waiting. Toys arranged like I might walk in any moment and resume playing. 26 years of hope preserved in a single room. We celebrated your birthday every year, Margaret said. Your real birthday. March 15th, not October 2nd. March 15th. Pisces, not Libra. Everything I thought I knew about myself, even my star sign, was a lie. The Morrisons, I couldn't call them Mom and Dad anymore, were charged with kidnapping, identity fraud, and conspiracy. Patricia got 25 years. Robert got 10, his sentence lighter because he genuinely hadn't known at first. During the trial, more came out. Patricia had lost a baby, a late-term miscarriage. She'd spiraled, become obsessed with having a daughter. She'd stalked playgrounds, looking for a child who needed her. She'd chosen me because I was alone for a moment at that birthday party, because I was small for my age, because I had her mother's eyes. She dyed my hair, moved states, created an entire fictional history. The memory suppression techniques she detailed in that notebook were horrifying. A combination of gaslighting, mild sedatives, and constant reinforcement of false narratives. You were so young, the prosecutor explained. Young enough that with enough repetition, enough confusion, your real memories could be overwritten. But not erased. Not entirely. The dreams were real memories fighting to surface. The unexplained sadness during certain songs, lullabies Margaret Chin had sung to me. The scar on my knee, from falling off a tricycle James Chin had taught me to ride. It's been 2 years now. I'm in therapy, working through identity issues that make normal identity crises look like a walk in the park. I have 2 sets of parents. One in prison, one trying to rebuild a relationship with a daughter who's a stranger. I have a name that doesn't feel like mine and memories I can't trust. Oliver has been my rock through it all. He proposed last month, in that yellow kitchen with the sunflower curtains. Margaret Chin cried happy tears. James Chin welcomed him to the family. And I said yes, because if I've learned anything, it's that love, real love, doesn't need to steal or lie or hide. The recipe box? It never held recipes. Patricia Morrison had used it to store her trophies, photos of my real life, documents she'd forged, newspaper clippings about the child she'd stolen. She'd kept them like serial killers keep mementos, hidden in plain sight in an attic full of a fabricated life. I did eventually get family recipes, though. Margaret Chin taught me to make wontons from her mother's recipe. James Chin showed me his secret for perfect fried rice. We cook together now, building new memories while acknowledging the ones we lost. Sometimes I wonder who I would have been if I'd grown up as Sarah Chin. But Oliver reminds me that I'm still her, just with a different path. The Morrisons stole my childhood, but they couldn't steal my core self. The part that loved to read, that was stubborn about vegetables, that dreamed of being a teacher. That was all me, just mislabeled. My story made national news. Other families reached out, hoping I might be their missing child somehow. It broke my heart every time. But it also led to 3 other cold cases being solved, 3 other stolen children finding their way home. Patricia Morrison's meticulous record-keeping had included information about a network of people who helped desperate parents acquire children. The FBI is still unraveling it all. I kept one photo from that box. The one of me at my 4th birthday party, just hours before I was taken. I look happy, loved, safe. It reminds me that those feelings were real once and can be real again. The Chens wait for me to be ready. They don't push. They understand that I'm grieving parents who never existed while learning to love parents I don't remember. It's complicated and messy, and nothing like the Hallmark movies make reunion stories look. But we're trying. Every Sunday dinner, every awkward phone call, every shared memory they offer, and I can't reciprocate, we're trying. Because family, real family, doesn't give up. Not after 26 years. Not ever. The recipe box sits in evidence now. But I don't need it. I'm finally learning what real family recipes are. Not stolen moments and forged documents, but patience, truth, and the kind of love that waits for a stolen daughter to find her way home. Even if home is a place she can't quite remember. Even if home has sunflower curtains and parents who are strangers. Even if home means admitting that everything she thought she knew was a lie. Because some truths are worth uncovering. Some boxes, no matter how painful their contents, need to be opened. And some recipes, the ones for healing, for trust, for building a family from the ashes of deception, can't be written down. They have to be lived, one careful day at a time.